Just inside the main entrance to Jam, there's an engraved plaque. It goes unnoticed by most, but those curious enough to ask about its meaning receive this explanation. The Latin words on the plaque mean, "It takes time to make things." And it serves as a reminder that creating something perfect always requires more time than you can possibly imagine. Perhaps the best example of that is the birth of a new custom jingle package, a package that's custom created to a station's specifications from the ground up. Let's go behind the scenes and follow the creation of a custom jingle from inception to broadcast. Of course, every assignment is different. The instrumentation, talent, and production techniques all vary to suit the project. But one thing never changes: the incredible number of hours that go into creating each and every Jam jingle. Everything you're going to hear is authentic. Although condensed, nothing has been staged or recreated. Before the first note of a new package is written or recorded, we talk about the project with the client. Sometimes it's done in person. In this case, it was a phone conference. The date is May 23rd.
Good afternoon, KFI KOST.
Hi, this is John Wolfert at Jam in Dallas, looking for Jhani, please.
Hang on one second.
Jhani Kaye, station manager of KOST in Los Angeles, has already faxed a rough outline of the jingles he needs for this year's KOST package. We're following the progress of one of those cuts.
John?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
Okay, you got my little fax there?
Got it right in front of me.
Okay, you know how we did the ramp? That was something new that we did this last 93 custom?
Yeah.
So I need 2 slow, 2 medium, and 2 fast, 06 on the front. It's just something that the jock delivers the positioner over.
So it doesn't really need to start with much of an intro. It just kind of starts...
It kind of builds. It doesn't have to crescendo so much, but it kind of builds and delivers the sing.
Mm-hmm.
You should know we're picking up the tempo of the station overall.
During the next 40 minutes, Jhani discusses the direction of the station, as well as the sound of the package and the purpose of each cut in it. The session dates are confirmed.
See you next week.
All right, bye.
May 25th. John Wolfert meets with the other writers who are working on the KOST package.
So on the subject of the ramps, which are the first 6 cuts on the list, the jock starts talking and this starts playing all at the same time. So there shouldn't be something they need to get out of the way of.
It sounds like the way that he uses them, they're literally supposed to sneak up under the jock.
Exactly.
Okay.
That'll work.
During the hour-long meeting, each jingle is discussed. Writing assignments are made, and musical questions are resolved.
Comprendo.
May 31st, 6 days later. It's time to go into the studio.
Okay, Mike. Yeah. Let's hear kick.
The process begins with the rhythm section. That's drums, bass, guitar, and keyboards.
Okay, go ahead and add snare.
But the first hour of the session is spent setting levels and perfecting the sounds coming from each instrument.
Okay, add a hi-hat.
There are a dozen microphones on the drums alone, and engineer David Garcia checks the effect of each one.
Okay, time for toms.
When everything's ready, the entire band warms up with, what else? A jam session. Chris Kershaw, whose work on the KOST package includes writing, playing, singing, and producing, tells us a little about the jam rhythm section.
Great players play in studios for a living. The requirements for playing a jingle session are no different than playing any other session. You need to be able to create on-the-spot interplay with each other. What happens is wild, wacky, impromptu, and consistently joyful. We just have a wonderful time.
The medium tempo ramp jingle in this package will be Jam's 113th custom cut for KOST. So for now, the jingle is simply known as KOST 113. Mike Collier is on drums, Bob Gentry on bass, and Bud Gewen on guitar. Dave Zoller is the writer of this cut, so it's his turn at the keyboard. The players have music in front of them, chords and rhythms on paper. The trick is to bring the paper to life.
113 is the next song. We need a 12-4 click.
The style.
2.4.
The style of it is.
Well, the guitar part is da 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 on the first 2 bars. Okay, if that helps you any.
Funky town.
Yeah.
Take you down.
With the seed of an idea, the rhythm section rehearses cut 113 for the first time. Since KOST had asked for a 6-second ramp on this cut, the band plays along with an electronic metronome, or click track, to ensure the correct timing.
Yeah, that's getting there. Let's try it, David.
After a few more run-throughs, it's time to start recording.
KOST 113.
Click. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that was cool though. That was cool what you did at the very front.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
It would be nice if I met it.
KOST 113.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And there you have it.
Check him.
The recording is played back on the studio speakers several times. After a few imperfections are corrected, the take is accepted, and everyone moves on to the next cut. The musicians will spend 9 hours together in the studio today, recording the rhythm tracks to all 14 cuts in the new KOST package. June 1st, the string session.
The string folks are a very different breed from the horn players, for example. And classical has been their life, and they're often here in their black long dresses or tuxedo shirts, segueing from our session to a symphony call.
Once more.
The writer now sits in the control room and communicates with concertmaster Anshul Brusilov through the talkback system.
You want to start the first bar a little softer, Anshul?
Okay.
Yeah, make more of your crescendo at 2.
Does that sound right?
The players wear headphones to hear the comments from the control room, as well as the rhythm track which they're playing along with. If you were in the studio with them, all you would hear is the sound of the strings.
Yeah.
Once a good take is achieved, more layers are added by recording on additional tracks of the 24-track master tape. It requires many takes and playbacks to achieve perfection.
Somebody notice something?
Nope. Sounded fine in here.
Okay.
The string section spends 4 hours in Jam Studio A, adding their part to the new package. Now it's the morning of June 2nd.
You just want me to play that last thing over and over?
No.
Or you want me
Play
to
it
stop?
once, just do it, just let it ring.
Oh, okay.
During the 2-hour harp overdub session, dramatic accents and flourishes are added to the tracks.
I think that's going to work.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
After the harp, it's time for another 2-hour session. Pete Brewer adds tasty sax and flute parts to several of the cuts. The work on a new package doesn't only happen in the studio. For example, production manager Sally Potts has spent the last week contacting and scheduling the over 30 musicians and singers needed to complete the project. But there are always a few unexpected problems.
Speaking of the French horn, he's sick, he's real congested, and he can't play.
Perfect.
With the French horn player calling in sick less than 3 hours before the session, the decision is made to record the horn part separately, later. The brass session, now consisting of trumpets and trombones, starts as scheduled.
The horn players, what a great group. These guys are the baseball fans and the beer drinkers, typically speaking. The horn players from North Texas State populate all of the big bands and all of the horn sections of the world. North Texas State University has probably got the finest big band jazz undergrad and grad program in the country. And so I think all these guys went through North Texas.
The brass complete their part in 2.5 hours. But the day's not over yet. At 7 in the evening, 4 hours of percussion overdubs begin.
113.
Yes, 113. Gonk, Go, and then bells. Let's do the bells first.
Everything from tambourines and shakers to bells and wind chimes are added to make each cut sparkle just a little more.
Okay.
June 3rd begins with the postponed French horn session.
On the next one, 113,
Right.
the last note, should that be a written F sharp?
The last note should be F natural.
As with all the sessions before, the horn player adds his parts to the multi-track tape and hears the existing portion in headphones. Because the tracks are recorded this way over a period of several days, it's possible for some of the musicians who play together on a given jingle to have never even met each other.
That sounded good to me.
Yeah.
KOST 103.5.
At last, the music tracks are all recorded. Now it's time to add the singers. For the full sound that identifies KOST, a 7-voice vocal group is used.
5.
That's 3 girls and 4 guys.
It's a B flat on the top.
Yeah, that's the one.
The arrangements are always written out, but the harmonies are intricate. Sometimes it takes a few run-throughs before it's time to record.
KOST 103.5.
One more time.
The session in Studio B teams engineer Brian Hamilton with Chris Kershaw, one of the Jam vocal group producers.
KOST 103.5.
Fabulous. Let's do 2.
Chris describes what's going on when he's simultaneously singing and producing.
With my left ear in the headphones, I hear what I think the microphones are hearing.
KOST 103.5.
And with my open ear, I hear what's happening in the room and can fairly quickly determine that what we are doing is going to work, continue it and finish it, or stop.
KOST 103.5.
The studio playback, I take off my headphones, listen to the speakers, and determine if we've pronounced words correctly, cut them off together, if we haven't fallen behind rhythmically, make those judgments.
KOST 103.5.
The group works on the vocals for a full 4 hours. The next day is a Saturday. But Jhani Kaye returns to Jam to work with John Wolfert on the final critical step of the process, the mix. All of the different elements that have been recorded are now blended in just the right proportion. Echo, effects, and stereo placement are decided upon. There's no formula for doing this. It takes creativity, patience, and a lot of listening.
You hear the last bell note, but not the first two.
Yeah.
I need to even that out a little.
How about the cowbell? Is it just too much up front? Is it dating the sound a little bit?
It's kind of hiding.
Oh,
I
is
don't
it?
have it very. It's more evident in the little speakers.
Yeah.
You make a little more out of the strings at the front.
KOST 103.5.
How's that?
It's great. I wouldn't change anything on it.
Then I have an idea. Let's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be one of my favorite cuts.
It takes a couple of days to complete the mix. Then come several more hours of digital audio editing. In the end, all of the time, talent, and creative energy that has gone into this project are reduced to something you can hold in the palm of your hand, a single compact disc. But the story isn't quite over. The final chapter takes place in Southern California when listeners to KOST 103.5 hear this on the radio.
Try it. New chicken fingers available at participating Arby's.
Now, another half hour of the best variety of continuous soft hits with less talk.
KOST 103.5.
Jam is proud to be part of great radio stations all over the world. It does take time to make things, but we think it's time well spent.
KOST 103.5. KOST, Los Angeles.
Just inside the main entrance to Jam, there's an engraved plaque. It goes